We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast for Mark Boersma for Dummies. And we're doing 13 today. And that if you have the humility, what does that mean? So, what I know is with people, when you ask questions, that I know when people, based on how quickly they respond, I know that either they haven't thought about it. Like I've never thought of that thought. So they haven't ever thought, so they haven't thought about it. Like that if you have the humility, like they've never thought about humility. And or um they don't have confidence. So they're not gonna they have thought about it, but they're not gonna share it. So there's fear. So there's no thought or there's fear. They're gonna look stupid or something like that. And so a lot of people actually think they're humble, but they're not. When somebody thinks they're humble and they're not, and you point it out, man, do they get ticked. And each of the different personalities will respond in different ways. So the amiable will go underneath like a mole. And this is what amiables don't understand. See, they can get away with stuff with other people. But when an amiable becomes a mole, like we have this guillotine, in our yard. When there's a mole, we don't do it. We have one of my Amish friends, he comes over and he sets it up because I don't like to kill animals. And he sets it up and it's literally a guillotine. So they go down this path and then it just, I guess it chops their head off or something. I don't know. This is amiables. Like amiables need to, you're not, you're not as kind as you think you are. You're just not. And so what you do is you do all your gonky stuff on me and been there, done that. You know what? And so you think you're humble, you're not. Amiables hate it. Man, do they hate that. It's almost like demonic possession takes over. The analytic, so each of the different personalities, each of the different personalities they have idolatry. Like we talked about that maybe yesterday, last or in the last session. I don't remember. And so the amiable is going to think they're nice and kind, and they're not. They're not. Lying is not. You're not being nice. You're just not. You can believe, like you're. You can believe you're not. You're being selfish. You just are. Just telling you, you just are. You're not doing it because you're nice to them. You're doing it because you don't like conflict. You're doing it because you don't want them to come back at you and tell you what's wrong with you. So you just lie to people. You're just a pathological liar. And when you tell an amiable that, you break their idols. Man, do they get ticked at you. You're not humble. You're just not. The analytic, you think you're smart. You're not. You're smart in a little. We've talked about that. So they think they're humble. You're not humble. You're just not. You know, the expressive, they often acknowledge they're not humble. They're just narcissistic, self-centered. But depending on what their secondary personality is, and if they're a Christian, they've learned, you know, and so they act humble, but they're not. So somebody's an imposter when you just say, you're just. Do you think you're humble? You ask them a simple question. Do you think you're humble? And they say, oh yeah. Well, like what do they say? The driver, I don't know. Don't know very many drivers. Do not know very many drivers. So this is the challenge with leaders and teachers and preachers and people that are out there. Like, how do you go ahead and truly become humble? I mean, a humble person would know that. One is you get married as a man and you take ownership for maybe everything. I don't,
I think one way is just have kids.
right? So if you have three doctorate degrees in child psychology, you know, and you have a practice and you do therapy and you help all these kids, you think you're really good with children. You think you're really smart. How do you prevent that? Just to have kids. Because all your education, all your experience, it doesn't work. Not with your own kids. Like Jonathan, that kid was troubled. Like he was just a troubled kid. Like Rosanna was in a head-on collision, 50 miles an hour. A 17-year-old boy pulled out in front of her, and she was pregnant, I don't know, 7 months with Jonathan. Like, did that mess him up? I don't know. When he was born, he had the cord wrapped around his neck. Did that mess him up? I don't know. That dude was messed up. Great kid. Love him, miss him to holy cow, do I miss that kid. But when he was 15, it's like when he was 15, we're like, I mean, he's not on a good path. So we brought him into, a psych ward or, whatever you want to call it. And he didn't know we were going in. So he's kind of trapped there. And the second day, so he brought him in, I think, in the afternoon, evening, and came in the second day. And we said to his, one of his therapists and said, I said to her, I said, hey, I'm concerned he's going to game the system. Like it was on a Friday evening when we were talking, afternoon, evening. And I said, I'm afraid that he's going to game the system. She says, well, we can talk to his doctor about it. Doctor comes in and he's got 3 PhDs. I said, I'm concerned that our son, he's crazy smart. Holy cow. I'm concerned he's going to game the system. And the doctor says, I have 3 degrees in child psychology. I've been doing this for 20 years. He's not going to do that with me. And I'm thinking, this poor dude, he's going to get taken to school. He's going to get taken to school by a 15-year-old. Like these stupid medical arrogant doctors, they think they're so smart. So, okay, be that. 15-year-old Jonathan comes in. Doctor says, hey, Jonathan, you've been here for about a day. Jonathan's like, yeah. And he said, so have you learned anything? And Jonathan looks down, kind of shakes his head. He said, I've learned that I'm a very manipulative person. I'm like, dang, he's even better than I thought he was. I'm like, you got to be kidding. Like, holy cow. What's the doctor do? Hook, line, sinker. He's like, really? And Jonathan's like, yeah, I'm a very manipulative person. I'm like, jeepers. Holy cow. That's taken it to another whole level of skill. Doctor bought it hook, line, and sinker. So he talks some more and he says, after Jonathan leaves, he says, Mr. Boersma, I can't keep him in here, and I thought he should be in there. He's like, yeah. So Jonathan just absolutely, man, I hate people with college degrees. Think they're so smart. Think like you're just idiots. You're just idiots. So Dad had done some research because he knew his son knew the medical community. They think they're so smart. Cheapers. Goofballs. So I said, well, okay. So yeah, so he's going to release him. I said, well, I'd like to have a second opinion. He's like, well, it's Friday and there's no other doctors. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. He says, so I said, yeah, well, I want a second opinion because I can have that. He's like, well, there's nobody here. We'll have to keep him over the weekend. I said, well, stuff happens, right, doctor? So it's fascinating to see. It's just fascinating to see. It's like he's not humble. It's just he's not humble. And so I have 3 degrees in business. Like, how do you how do you become arrogant? Become a teacher of business. How do you be humble? Do business. Cheapers. Like just don't like I just do business. Like what what seems to work, it doesn't work. It's continually shifting. And so, you know, like Jim says, it's like need to be warned. Like this guy's gonna be one of your best friends. Like he's gonna be one of your best friends, but need to be warned. Like if it's conditional. If you're humble, not fake humble, you don't get up in a church service and say I'm humble, or have a bunch of other people tell you you're humble, or have your wife tell you you're humble in front of me. Like, honey, do you think I'm humble? When men do that, I just laugh. I just absolutely laugh. I'm like, yeah, you are such a wuss. You just, you need your wife to go ahead and tell you what you are? Holy cow, goofball. So you need to be warned. He's going to expose you pretty quick. It's not that hard. People who are self righteous, it's so easy to expose them. People who are victims, it's so easy to expose them. People who are entitled, it's so easy to expose them. It's just like they're just goofballs. Or, or Dan, anything you got?
No, I don't. I think you hit it on the nose.
Elaine, anything you got?
Nope.
Nor anything you got?
No, I don't think so.
Anita, anything you got?
No.
So is it that you all just are like most women and you can't sense energy? Or are you like all women and you just are afraid?
Afraid of what?
If you ask a question, what could happen?
We could get a thought process.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you could get something. And so either one of two things. Either none of you are good at energy. You just aren't. Just telling you. Like just telling you, you're not good at energy, or you're afraid, one or the other. It's one of those two. Or I suppose it could be a third. You just don't care. Could be that one too.
Maybe I would just opt for that one.
Right? You know, and it's sad if you don't care because you're not going to grow. Not that I care if you
Oh,
any of you grow or not.
shoot.
So, because you don't have any curiosity. The curiosity is what creates the growth.
So this humility thing, um, how do you like, okay, so say you think you have humility. How do you determine if you have humility or if you don't?
Just talk to Mark and say, give me a 10, real 10, especially now that you don't care.
Okay.
All you got to do is attack somebody's idols. All you do is attack their idols, and immediately it reveals everything about them. And Christians are some of the most idolatrous people in the world. They have idols. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
How do you determine what an idol is?
Well, you'll get defensive that at 9Ds will kick in. Like you'll go ahead and you go into the 9Ds, defend, deny, destroy, deceive, disguise. Like immediately when you get close to an idol, then all of a sudden everything, all of a sudden it's like whoop. But that's not what
So
I'm referring
in
to.
that regards,
Yeah.
if say you're doing battle with a child,
Yeah.
and there's some things that they bring up and you
About
feel
you?
like, yeah, like
Nice.
say
That's the
on me.
awesomeness. That's so awesome. That is so cool. Oh, I love that.
When you get or when you feel like you're getting defensive, does that mean that that's an idol then?
Well, how clear are you about what defensive is?
Well, I thought I was clear, but
Yeah,
I
I don't
might not
know.
be.
You might be ticked because you are being defensive, and they might just be smarter than you, and that really ticks you off. Like they're like, good move, buddy. like, whoa, that's really good. There was somebody who said they were a friend, and they really were a friend. They just didn't know what friendship is. And I'm telling you, if I ever want to lie, holy cow, did she teach me? I'll be forever grateful for that. I've never had anybody do what she did. I'm like, it's just so awesome. I'll be forever thankful. I'll be forever thankful for what she did because I've never seen it. I've got kids that are liars, and I've never had anybody lie that proficiently. It's like, holy cow, is she good? Mental note. So, what you do is you become curious, you shift into a children or whatever, you shift into with children, and you go ahead and you become curious, like, dang, that was a good one. Good one. That one got me. That one got me. Good one there. I don't know if that
Okay.
helps.
Yeah, it kind of does. I need to see a different viewpoint. I need to look at it a different way. I need a window to open or a door or something. This, yeah,
Yeah. So,
figure it out.
yeah. So my grandfather, 8 years old, he said there's some amount of truth. So when your kids, so the truth is, this is what's funny. Like people are stupid or ignorant. Like, which are you? I don't know. And so, like, it's fascinating to me. It's like your friends aren't going to tell you the truth. They're just not because you don't like them. They don't like you. Don't care about them. They don't care about you. Guys care about the feelings you give each other. That's what you do. That's what you do. I mean, three guys that had known each other for 60 years. I said, what's the 60, 70 years, grew up as kids. And these guys are in their 80s. I said, what's your secret to your friendship? And they said, you just accept other people for who they are. I'm like, oh. See, I was thinking I wanted to have somebody that could be a friend for 60 years or even 10 years. But I'm like, well, that's not hard. That's not, I mean, so you have level one friends? You have level one friends for 60, 70 years? Jeepers. Okay. All right. Makes sense to me. I mean, it doesn't make sense why people would do it. Anybody else have anything else? So you don't either sense energy or you're afraid. It's one of those two.
Okay, so with the level 4 friends, is
Yep.
it the same for everybody? Or is it different? Or is it different like your level 1 is you'll like Mark? Is it like for mine is it like you'll like Nora? Is everybody's the same or can you make your own?
You mean within each level?
Yeah, I don't know. So like these three guys that you were talking about saying they have like a level 1 friend. What if their level 1 is something different, or is it all the same?
Well, the thing is if somebody's not clear on their vision, it would seem like, it would seem if they don't know their vision, if they don't know their life vision, you can't have level 4 friends. You just can't. When you go ahead and look at, well, people will love Mark, well, what does that mean? Well, what I think it means, honestly, is I think people love what they get from me. They don't love me. They just love what they get from me. And it's okay. Well, Mark, are you the same way? I don't know. I'm willing to have a conversation about that. Like, I'm fine. Let's have a conversation about it. And so, you know, irritate, not like, hate. I don't know. There's different spectrums in here. And so I don't know, Nora. I don't know the answer to that question. So you guys are either you're not
So
real
what brought
sensitive
on the humble quote? Why did you talk about humble today?
because that's the one we're doing today. It's after 12. It's 13. So this is the one we're doing. Tomorrow will be
Okay.
14.
So what energy are we not feeling?
Mine.
And what energy is that?
It's different. It's very, very different today than it's been the last, 12.
Why?
So there's these two young guys. They're in their 20s and they're a mess. Holy cow. They're like teenage girls going into puberty. So the mere principal says, well, Mark, are you in that same place? No, I don't think so. I think I'm in a worse place.
How so?
I'm not entirely sure. Like I'm going back to my models to see if they give me any type of help. And they kind of did. Like my journals, kind of did. Like here, when you have the 4 levels, low frequency are here, then you get into a high frequency, and then you go from a high frequency to a low frequency. And it's like, it's hard.
Do you think
Now,
you feel rejected?
maybe,
Huh?
but then I don't care.
Are you sure you don't care, or you're just convincing yourself you don't care?
I don't know. Are you just faking humility, Mark? Like that's how you go and reveal somebody's ability. Like, what's the most confident thing you're in the world? I'm most confident about this. What if that wasn't true? What a great test. What's the 3 most confident things you have about this life? What are the 3 most confident things you have? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, gotcha. What if those weren't true? What if all 3 of them were wrong? Or one of them was wrong? Like you can tell how people respond. So when you're growing, you're shifting between different things and it's all wonky. So it's like a teenage girl going through puberty. or a woman going through menopause. It's like cheapers. Like Tom, it was fascinating. A friend of mine. I know a number of Toms. And so so it was just fascinating. Like after Jonathan died, and he says, does he have any kids? And I said, no, his wife, they were in their early 30s, 30 years old, and wife was about that. And I said, yeah, she had some type of disease or something that had menopause, like she had menopause when she's 30 years old. He didn't even bat an eye. He said, oh, that's why he killed himself. He wasn't joking. Like he wasn't laughing. He wasn't joking. He's like, oh, that's why he killed himself. I started laughing. Like, yamper. So there's a different energy about me today. It's high frequency energy. It's crazy high. And so, people who are low frequency, they don't even sense it. People who sense it are afraid of it. I'm not saying they shouldn't be. I'm just saying that. And so, going tomorrow when we do 14, I want to be accountable to have people, and want to have accountability to have people in our lives that collectively we can make our time on earth count. Then I'm telling you right now, this guy is going to be one of your best friends. But people don't want this. And we'll learn about that. People don't. They just don't. I've never found a person on this planet that really wants that. Fascinating. The men are so cool, especially pastors, especially really strong men, like Iron Men, like people who are really confident. They're like, yeah, I can do it. Cheapers. Like, you have no idea. No idea. Anyways, anything else? All right. So, yeah, this will give you something to think about. This will give you, this is crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. Unbelievable. Thanks, everybody. Bye.